What I'm trying to do is to grow this group. I want to be very inclusive of people who are, like I say, out of shape for, work commitments and other things. This time of year, traditionally, in the period edition training plan, we take it easier. We build our fitness by steadier, longer rides. If you feel you come to a hill, you want to do something, we don't have to follow you. You can do your thing and then you sit up and you come back in a group, whatever. But if you're bombing hills and you get dropped, we're not going to wait for you either. Because we're not going slow, we're going steady.
On this ride, I left Northampton, rode into the woodlands. I took the long way to get there. I left early to get some extra Ks in. I picked up the group at the Alden Village Center. We headed out on Honea-Egypt Road, straight out to 2854. Once we got into Keenan, we took Ribbon Chapel to Mill Route into Montgomery. We stopped at Taco briefly and then went up 149 to Bailey Grove, 1097 through the forest. Part of that is on film in the forest there at the end of the film. We came back down Mount Pleasant to 1097 and then took the historic route back through Spring Branch Road, the Grand Lake Estates, back to Honea-Egypt Road, rolling into the woodlands. I did my best to keep the pace. I talked to the group by now. You'll see in a little bit what we talked about, trying to drop the anaerobic efforts from this phase of training. But it lasted for a little bit. Hard to keep these guys under control, but it was fun.
But this will allow people who haven't been doing the jackrabbit stuff to at least sit in and equalize. I don't like to talk about levels because we're all different. Somebody's zone 2 might be your zone 5 or whatever. So I don't like to do that. This area here is hard to gauge what we're going to average, but I think 18 to 20 miles an hour is reasonable to expect overall. So we're going to be riding probably on the flats, 22, 23. But if it's steady, the guys who haven't been riding can get a rhythm. It's the surges that hurt, and that's why road racers do that. They sacrifice a teammate and whatever. That's what it's. So if you want to go faster, that's fine. And people want to go with you, I welcome the splits. And those who want to ride up to the A group can do that too, because I want everybody to come, all levels. That's what it's about. Nobody's going to tell you to slow down. I won't. I'm just saying we're just going to watch you and we're going to do. Because this time of year we want to go, but we don't want to kill ourselves on every climb and go anaerobic. It's not the time to go anaerobic unless you got something planned, like in the next month or so. So until January, the holidays and whatever, we're just going to be burning off the turkey and all the Halloween candies, that kind of stuff. That's what this is about. And that after December 31st, I will post the next training plan and explain what it's about. And those who want to learn how to train that weren't coach or whatever, this is an opportunity to get familiar with that. It's just a guideline, so people know what the main group is going to be doing. Okay, so let's have fun. It's 7:30. Let's clip in. Let's enjoy. Stay safe. Let's keep it smooth. Okay, guys, let's go.
So as you heard, it's a suggestion. These guys, they behave for a little bit, but there's always somebody who wants to go faster. And as I said,
that's good or bad. Makes me hot.
As I said, I'm not going to tell anybody to slow down. I have a training plan that works. I know when to push. I know when to back off. I know how to build my capillaries instead of going hard all year and hitting a plateau. So it lasted for a little bit, as you will see, and then later on people started breaking up, and like I said, I welcome the splits. But I want everybody to come out knowing what the intent of the group is. There are a lot of groups that have things going on to where they try to restrict, you can't go faster than this. I don't have time for that. We're all adults. People are here to have fun. So I don't do that. I'm not gonna restrict people. If somebody wants to be flying in December, that's their prerogative. Because the bottom line is, if it works for you, it works. There's no one way to skin this cat. So mentally and physically, if you don't need the break and you want to ride and you're still excited and you're pumped and you're out the door is good, come on and knock yourself out. So there are times when, regardless of the time of the year, I feel like going hard, I go hard. So I don't worry about it. I'm doing this to give others who have not been coached, as I said, the opportunity to learn about periodization training. So we're getting out of town. Research Forest Boulevard, the Woodlands, Texas. I'm chatting up front with Abby. You know, kind of talking about what I just announced. He showed up as I was done. He showed up right at 7:30. Abby usually rides from his home to the rides. We did get a few people that had not been coming to the rides that showed up based on what I had posted, because I posted on the board that the goal will be for the main group to go steady. Because if you're going steady, somebody can sit in, get a rhythm, as I said, and their effort will be a little less because of the draft. But because you're not surging, they'll be able to hang on. The draft can equalize things somewhat, depending on the terrain and the conditions. So that's what it's about. But my goal is to continue to let everyone know when I post these rides what we're doing at the particular time of year. Set the expectation. We had a good turnout. And the splits are good actually sometimes because you don't need a very big group to have an effective outing. And then we reunited at the stores. On this ride, we stopped twice at Taco. Once before going into the forest and once after. Hard to keep riders disciplined at all levels. It takes a strong mind to hold yourself back. And it's easier to do if you believe in the plan, if you've done it before and you've seen the effects. I mean, I know when I ride and keep myself governed, I can feel the impact when it's time to go faster. Everything's easier. So I do most of my riding by myself anyway. So when I come in this group, I just kind of, when they're going at a pace I don't want to do at that time of the year. This guy right here almost fell. He hit that crack. I'm not sure why he's over there. He was off the road and trying to come back and ended up in the crack. Whenever there's enough of us, I just take the right lane. And when you're going across a crack like that where this pavement here is a little higher than that shoulder, you don't want to come sideways. You want to take it directly. You need to turn and get across it. Don't glide over like he was doing. It almost caught his wheels. That can cause you to fall. Doesn't take much. So you always have to be vigilant, especially in the group. Don't get careless when you're around other cyclists. You need to look out even more than when you ride solo. You need to read the road. That is your responsibility. Look for bumps, speed bumps, potholes, whatever.
Were you okay back there? That was like a Unseen left, huh? Road with yeah. Those are the scary ones, man.
Those are the ones that can put you on the pavement. I've seen multiple people crashed on roads where it was actually were on the road as a boulevard coming on the white line on the left, but one side was raised. You know, they have them all over the world. The road sinks a little bit, and you start coming over. You got to make a direct move. You can't glide over a lip, so to speak. Even my driveway, when I get home, I take it directly because my driveway is above the road. So I make sure I take it directly and I lift my front wheel. I hope you know what I mean. And besides, if I'm on a road like this, I choose where I come over. I make sure the lip is not too much. And if it is, then I make sure I'm taking it as direct as possible, using my front wheel over it, not sliding sideways. That's what can cause you to fall. So reading the road is paramount, whether you're riding solo, and even more so when you're around other cyclists. You don't pay attention, you can create problems for yourself and the other riders around you. So when I'm riding my bike, I've mentioned before, I don't do too much talking once we start riding. Yeah, even when we're chatting here during the warm-up, I'm still reading the road. I don't want to get involved in a conversation that will take my mind off of focusing on reading the road. Then that means that conversation needs to wait, because right now it's time to ride. So I don't like too much chatter when I'm riding. There are certain riders that talk too much. All throughout the ride, you hear them talking. I don't have time for that. Let's ride. Focus on riding. Focus on your breathing. Watch the wheels in front of you. Look for everything else that can impact your path. There's no reason to be doing all this talking. When we get to the stop, we can talk. I'm not talking about just, saying one or two things, but I'm talking about people who want to start this lengthy conversation throughout the ride. It's too much talk, too much chatter. I don't have time for that. There's no way I want to be listening to somebody talking for 3 hours. That's too much. There's not that much to talk about. And the ironic thing is, when Paul and I ride, we'll do 6 hours. We don't spend that time talking. When we're warming up, we catch up about what's been going on. But once we get to the business of riding, we ride. You don't have no major things to be discussing on the bike. So if you're in a ride where people are doing too much talking, get away from them. Because those are the ones that will cause wrecks. And most of the time what they're talking about is nothing that you care about. It's just nonsense. Useless subjects. Just talking to be talking. Because it's different. If I'm talking about something, like, oh man, you got something wrong with your wheel there, whatever. Yeah, you're interested in that. But if nothing's going on, just to bring up a subject to be talking, no, I don't have time for that. We got quite a few people that do that. I just ride off. I ride away. I change where I am in the group. And on this ride here in the forest, it was off camera. A rider, who's I won't name, wants to ask me, talking about his brakes are sticking.
How are you, man?
My right brake is sticking. What do you think? I told him I have no idea, and I rode off. It's kind of rude. It's like me going to play golf and knowing that somebody's a doctor, and then I want him to diagnose my ailment. That's rude. You need to make an appointment and go to his office. When I'm on this ride, I'm off work. And plus, to expect a diagnosis for free, I think is rude. I don't have time for that nonsense. You want a service, you pay for it. Quit being cheap. So I rode off. We were in the forest, and I just rode to the front of the group and got away from it. Don't ask me no question about your bike. This is not a bike shop. We're on a ride. got a problem with your bike, take it to the shop and pay for the service.
Yeah, we have a.
So don't fall for that. Don't give your services away for free.
We have a channel.
People who try to take advantage of you,
That's
blow
where
them off.
it's been posted, yeah.
I don't have time for the foolishness. You come on a bike ride and diagnose a problem with your bike, you shouldn't be on the ride. Your bike should be in the shop. If that's the only bike you have. Because that's the bike you're riding, you got a sticky right brake, and I'm supposed to do what? Get the bike serviced. There's a plethora of things that can cause your brakes to stick. And why is it my responsibility on a bike ride to diagnose the cause? How is that possible? Got time for that foolishness. Especially those that are not in the inner circle. You can tell when somebody's trying to take advantage. You haven't seen them in 6 months. The first time you see them, they want something for free. Oh, man. And then, you know, the way people say things, you can kind of pick up on their intent. There's one thing if you guys were already talking about mechanical issues and whatever, and then they mention that. That's different. But in the middle of the pace line, we're working our tail off in the forest. You just gonna bring up, what do you think about my right brake that's sticking? That's not even enough information for anybody to even help you if they wanted to. So my response was, I have no idea, and I rode and changed my position in the group. You need to service your bike before the ride. I don't get on any bike, even if I'm just riding in the neighborhood. I don't get on any of my bikes if there's something wrong with them. As soon as I find there's an issue, I address it before the next time I clip in on that bike. Because these bikes take us far away from home. You can't mess around. You will be calling for a ride. My wife has a life. She's not my backup plan to call for a ride. If I'm calling her for a ride, she knows it's something that was beyond my control. It was nice how, what's her name? Kelly pointed out that the rains that wash up some of the asphalt. So I don't depend on calling my wife. I make sure I have everything I need to finish every ride I'm on. I'll call Uber first before I disturb my wife. A lot of riders that default is, oh, I'm going to call my wife to pick me up. My wife doesn't sit at home waiting on me. She has a life. She got stuff going on. You know, I'm riding 6-7 hours. She ain't sitting around waiting on me. We hook up when I get back. She knows about when I'm expected, and so she'll go do what she needs to do. And by the time I get back, we'll hook up. So, that's my point. So you need to make sure you can repair your flats. You need to make sure you have that and keep your phone with you, because there might be something you can't repair. And you call for a ride. Call Uber. They'll pick you up. Get home, you know. But that's so rare, you know. In all the years I've been cycling, I've called my wife once, and I called her to bring me a second bike because the chain broke. The chain was defective, and the link broke in the woodlands. Those of you who've been on the channel a while, it was actually on a ride that we were filming. And she just brought my second bike, gave it to me, and we put the other bike in the car, and we continued the ride. I didn't have to go home. It was kind of cool. So I have 3 bikes. They're all ready to be ridden. They're all ready. So if there's a problem with one, I get on the one that doesn't have that. And because I have 3 does not mean I let it go. I sit on them. As soon as there's a problem, I resolve it. I keep them all in working order at all times. We're on Honea-Egypt Community Road. I stay at the front for a bit here just to kind of set the tone. I'm probably going to be around 18 to 20 miles an hour. You know, it's relatively flat here. Just to kind of set the tone that we want to ride steady. You know, and this held up until we get to Honea and, you know, get in the hills and things picked up a little bit, but it was decent. It held up until we got to like, I was probably near 105. So I was on 2854 or something like that. And all of that's on film. But the idea was I was putting it out there to encourage more people to come out. As I said earlier, I'm not going to tell somebody to slow down. We're all adults. You want to go faster, that's your prerogative. If you overdo it, you will be riding alone because we're not waiting for you. And in fact, I felt a lot better on this ride than I expected. So at the end of the ride, they started to go up the last hill that's off camera, Honea-Egypt coming back the other way. I initially went with them and I decided, let me just back off. So I backed off and waited for the second group and rode in with them. But in the next few weeks, whatever they do, I will go with them, but I'm just gonna sit in. I won't help the pace. If they're going faster than I want to go, I'm gonna sit in because that will help me stay in the slightly lower zones than if I were to pull through. We got a long group of riders here. So I hope this makes sense. So if the group is going faster than you like, and you can sit in and stay close to the zone you want to be in, then don't help the pace. Don't pull. Just sit in. And you can let riders in front of you where applicable. Or if you do get to the front, just pull off immediately. You don't have to sit up there. Let them do the pace they want to do. That's what I plan to do the rest of the winter. If they're not riding reasonably, I won't help the pace. I did a big ride after this one. I did 100 miles on this one, then we did 100 miles. I did 100 miles the next day. Trek had they call it a trek and treat, a spin on trek and treat. The trek and treat century, which took us into an area called Grangerland, into like Cypress and close to southwest Houston. Katy. We actually went to Katy, Fry Road and I-10. I think it was Fry Road. Near that area anyway. But that's a Katy area. So we rode from our area to Katy. It's a century. Abby usually does centuries out there. So they didn't know that area. They go through Bridgeland, Cypress, Bridgeland, and come back. Well, it was an out and back, and we stopped at a couple of the Trek stores. They had refreshments. I got to meet some cool cyclists, a lady named Jasmine and another lady named Fatima. And Jasmine rides, she lives in the woodlands, but she rides in Sugarland, which is about an hour from here, south of where we live, because she works downtown, which is south, the medical center area. And so I guess after work, she hooks up with a group in Sugarland. So she was telling me about that. And it was good to just kind of see some new faces and some familiar faces. Maurizio was there. Jerry Lutner was there also. So I got to see all these guys. I rode the Nago. So I went classic, old school. I wore our old school Veloharmony jersey kit, the Santini jersey. It was a good ride. I wasn't sure I was up to it, but ended up finishing. So I rode from my house, picked up the group at the Trek store, and then went back. Honea-Egypt Road, one of my favorite roads in the area. This road has a lot of character. You get on this road, it just makes you want to work. You gotta focus. Got a bit of patinas, little cracks and crevices. And they've shaved the corners for more traction. And so, if you have the proper inflation in your tires, it's not that harrowing to go around these corners. There's one coming up there. I think after we get through that, I'm going to pull off the front. This rider in front of Paul, I think this is his first time riding with us. I didn't get his name. Maybe I did, I don't remember. But we had some new faces this weekend. I like to see new faces. So I'm keeping it around 20 miles an hour. I'm going to roll off in a little bit, and I believe Mike Bereras will take over. But these guys are like thoroughbred race horses. It's hard to keep them in check. So So this only lasted so long.
It's been a long time since the water's been this high, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some rains in the area. That's what Logan's talking about. The lakes are up. You can, if you look in the distance, see the mist. So I put my sunglasses. I believe my glasses are on the back of my head because it's foggy. It's a little
I didn't
foggy.
realize we had that much rain.
I know. I don't know if the ground's just so hard that it's not soaking it up,
Yep.
or if more fell over here than I felt at home.
I think somewhere around here I'm gonna pull off. I end up drifting behind Paul, then coming back
What's the route
because I
today?
need to be in the frame.
I think we're gonna go to Mill Route. First stop is gonna be at Taco, and then from there we're gonna take a Belly Road. And then I think
They're talking about the route.
and then come back on Spring
It's a
Branch
beautiful road.
back. So it's a relatively small route.
So when you're on a road like this that has no shoulder, you see where this rider is, that's where you want to be. You want to be where the right tire of the cars ride, so they have to move over to go by you. I think I'm going to get off somewhere here. I've been there for a while. Yeah, right there, I'm pulling off. I'm looking for traffic first in my mirror, and then I tell Mike, take over. I made sure nobody was coming up on us. This guy's gonna ask me if my bike is titanium. I'm gonna answer this rider in the blue. I think he's got a titanium bike too. He asked me if it's steel or titanium. I told him, yeah, titanium. So once I get behind Paul, I realized I had been up there quite a while. I needed to be in the frame to do my sync. So I ride back because I had been at the front where you couldn't really see me. Because this software chops up the filming into clips. And I synchronize the location, the geolocation, to my head unit. I'm on my sew-ups, and riding over there felt very comfortable. So if you look at my feet, when they go down, they look like I'm scraping something off the bottom of my shoe. If you're not doing that when you ride, then you really have to work on your mechanics. You know, starting with your fit, of course. I still see riders in our group, new or old, shaking their hands. I saw it again on the trek ride. During the ride, their hands are going numb. If your hands are going numb, you have too much weight on them. That means your seat and your feet are not set up correctly to where you're putting the weight where it needs to be. You shouldn't have any weight on your bars. They're just there for turning. You don't really need them that much. Your upper body should be kind of out of the picture unless you're climbing to where you're pulling on the bars. But when you're just riding along, you shouldn't be using any energy in your upper body. Yeah, Paul's wiping this because he realizes that we got mist. My mirror on the bike was fogging up, even though it's pointed backwards. That's how much humidity is in the air. It felt warmer than the temperature indicates at 22 Celsius, which is like 71, 72 Fahrenheit. So I'm wearing my flyweight navy Rafa jersey, which was what we wear in the summer. It's a warm 22 Celsius or 72 degrees Fahrenheit. The weather has since changed. This is Tuesday, and we started out probably about 7 Celsius, about 45 Fahrenheit this morning. And then by the weekend, we're gonna get back up into the low 30s Celsius, 80s Fahrenheit. So you don't like the weather in our area? Wait a few minutes. That's Mike Barreras.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Good to see you, Mr. Elanga.
Good to see you too, man.
Mike is more, I guess, assertive than I am. He was putting his hand up during the ride, trying to get guys to slow down when they were going too fast. You heard me in the parking lot. I ain't doing all that. You know, putting the information out there on the board and talking about it, it's enough. I wish I had somebody to give me tips on training when I started cycling. You know, they're getting a lot. So those who can read between the lines will benefit. And those who don't will just keep riding. Nothing wrong with it. If you can do the same thing all year and you're fine, that's good. So if you look at my position, I just look comfortable. You look at Paulie Longa, he looks comfortable. Mike Bereras. I'm telling her we're going all the way straight. And Mike had told her straight. I guess you didn't hear him. That's Kelly. Kelly's at the front. He's gonna pull for quite a while. We usually go through the neighborhood Grand Lakes on the left there, but this route we're going straight on Honea-Egypt. I like to bring the group through on Honea-Egypt, especially this big group, early to go straight. Later in the morning, it's a little busier on this road, so we're going to be coming back through the neighborhood we just passed on the left. I'm not sure what Mike's talking about. Pointing out the. So you see me by the yellow line. I'm using my mirror. I can already see behind me that nothing's coming. There are no other road users right now. That's why you see me where I am. That's one of the joys of having that mirror. I don't have to turn around all the time. I do turn around to verify distances and stuff, like if I'm making a left turn or whatever. But it's nice to keep your eye on the other users of the road. It really has increased my comfort and my ability to use the road where necessary without annoying the other users of the road. That's Logan there. Mike Pereira slipped in behind him. Look at this road. Beautiful. Got a little, you know, people's homes are off the side of this road. There's no industry out here. We do get quite a few people later. A couple of drivers will blow as they go by, but I think it's because, as you see back here, we have riders that are not in a straight line. You know, it's kind of like we're taking up the lane or whatever. So I think moving back and forth, maybe they were surprising the drivers, but we're not really doing two abreast. Up here, we're doing a single line, but in the back, they're kind of spread out. And so when drivers come by, they were blowing their horns, kind of letting them know we're coming by. Whether they were being annoying about it, I don't know. But I think it was because of the uncertainty of what we're doing back there. So you got to keep your group tight, and then you won't get all those blowing. I just told him, I said, my mirrors are foggy. I just wiped it. So if you keep a tight formation, then the drivers know what you're doing, you know. And the ironic thing, though, which is funny, the guy who blows his horn in a little bit, he passes without using the full other lane. Why blow your horn? If then wait, if you're not worried about what we're doing, and pass in the other lane. I mean, that's how I drive my car. I don't pass in the lane occupied by a motorcyclist or somebody else. I just look to make sure those dogs were not loose. That's a way of saying good morning, I guess. They hear us from the distance. Got to be the frequency of the chains or something on our bikes. They hear us before they see us. I'm reading the road and I'm looking for the smoothest line where possible. I have really fallen in love with those Continental Competition tubular tires. They're very durable and they ride well. And then they have Beetle tubes in there, so I don't have to pump them up every ride.
Here left.
But they ride like I remember my experience with tubular tires. There's deer on the side there, up ahead. I don't know if you saw that. I didn't put an arrow there. When I take a drink in the pace line, I make sure I feel my bottle slot into the cage before I let it go. I don't want to drop a bottle in the pace line. It can cause problems sometimes. So every time I take off my bottle to drink, even when I'm riding solo, I don't want to drop my bottle on the street. Those bottles we have are not cheap. And so we have insulated bottles that Paul and I use that they look like regular bottles, but man, they keep your drinks really cool. And I like them. And they're pricier than the regular see-through bottles that people carry. So when I put them in, I make sure I feel them go in the cage, then I let them go. The road's gonna kick up. It's somewhere around here. We're gonna get one guy blowing his horn as he goes by. We just ignore him. I look in my mirror, I see him. It's like, you're passing, just pass. And he's like the third car in the line, and he's the only one blowing his horn like he's something special. They act like they have some kind of claim on the roads. This road was here before you got here. It will be here long after you're gone. You own nothing. You get to use it. That's it. So don't get too attached. It's somewhere around here, I think. A couple of cars go by and then we hear boom, and he holds the horn the whole way. Like, what is that for? Yeah, right here. That's a village idiot. You holding your horn. What are we supposed to do? Vaporize and become invisible? Everybody else passing. They ain't got no problem. But you're Thomas Jefferson's first child, I guess, or George Washington's first child. So you have a claim on these United States. So you don't have to kill yourself every time you climb. I mean, this is like a 1%, and we're going to go to like 3. I'm riding right at the top of zone 2. Cadence in the 80s. When you ride your hills, ride them sometimes in your endurance pace. You don't need to ride too hard to where you don't really get to experience what the climb is doing. Because you don't learn how to climb if you're picking up bad habits by riding at a point where your form has deteriorated. Then you're teaching your body to do it wrong. So remember that. Slow it down and teach yourself how to ride/climb. Whatever it is you're working on. Work on it under control. When it's time to go faster, you already have the good habits in place, and it will just come naturally. I think it's Kelly that's pulling. She did some good work. This is the time of year to keep it steady. You will get strong. You don't need to be riding in anger all year.
Yeah, man.
You say you missed it, I figured.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
I was talking about hills.
So if you're doing a long ride, I mean, we're doing, Paul and I probably about 100 something. You're doing a 100-mile ride and you keep it steady, you can finish stronger. And maybe the last hour you can kick it up a bit. Especially you get a nice little group. You guys can cruise around 22, 23, reasonable terrain. You'll cover that sucker in 5 hours easy. They're working on the FM 2854, and they've reached this point here. I'm telling them to watch the gravel. They scraped it up because they're going to lay a new pavement from left to right.
I didn't add that guy.
They're going to blend it into this road.
I didn't add him from. I don't know. Maybe you got that.
Yeah, I was trying to see where the conversation started.
His name is Michelle. I don't remember adding him. We'll have to fix it.
Yeah.
This is FM 2854. We're going to be turning right in about probably 50 meters on Ribbon Chapel Road. And after we turn, we see Maurizio
on the track.
comes around.
Nice slingshot off.
And then the group starts splitting up. People want to ride up to him and do his pace. He comes around. I think Laura is going to pull. It's going to take the lead because Kelly, I think, is still pulling. Yeah, they got the road chewed up because they're going to blend that highway into these side roads. They're paving 2854. I'm looking back to see where everybody is. There's Mo. Mo has one speed, warp speed. So he's going to go around, but Laura's going to ignore him. Laura's going to keep doing what we're doing. I told Kelly, nice work. She kept it steady. She finished off all of Honea-Egypt. So if you're riding with your group and you feel strong and they're trying to keep things steady, take longer pulls. You'll get just as good as a workout. This is Raven Chapel Road. We just turned off of 2854, headed north towards Montgomery, Texas. I love coming out here. I intentionally moved north when my family was planning on moving, because we used to come out here, but we used to have to drive to get out of the metro area to come and enjoy these roads. So it's nice to be able to just put my leg over my bike in the morning and head out, and not have to deal with a car. This road goes up. It's a false flat. So most off of our group, he went by, we let him go. In a little while, I think Joaquin and some of the other guys will come around, and I think even Abby will come around. Tell him, go ride with Mo. He's up there, and Abby's gonna ride up, try to get together with Mo.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, what's up, Joaquin?
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, man.
How are your videos, man? Very cool.
Thank
Very
you.
cool.
Thank you, man.
There's Joaquin. Joaquin has my favorite color on his frame.
Pablo.
Yes, sir. Oh,
So he
man.
comes up to me and said, man, I like
Good,
that
man.
frame.
I'm good.
Everything good?
Yeah,
Is it-
man.
no, I
Good
think
to
it's
see you,
Frank.
man.
Likewise.
Yeah, Frank is the one talking to
Yeah.
Paul right now. Frank has a beautiful frame,
Abby, where you going?
orange and yellow fade.
My brother.
That's Abby. So Abby's gonna come by. I'm gonna tell him go ride with Mo.
Then to change things up, but
I'm good right here.
yep,
I said go ride with Mo.
that's what we're gonna do all day.
I think John's going with Abby also. Clement Champousson for the IKEA Simsic team. John Mulberry. Road goes up here just a tad. Yeah, it says 1%. And this is Frank. This beautiful orange and yellow with a yellow in the middle. Orange, yellow, orange. And he comes by and said, man, I like that bike. You got my favorite color on it. Right there. That's what we're talking about. It's a beautiful frame. It's nice and bright. So we're doing 2 abreast at this moment anyway. There's nothing wrong with doing this, especially in the city. If they have a boulevard, take the right lane. It's a lot easier. That's what we did when we did the Century on 7. And then some roads we do single file that are very narrow and busy. This road is not busy right now, so this works. So because of our rains, the humidity was up. It felt muggy. Still decent, but muggy. We're passing some riders that used to ride with Team Mark, Scott, and some other lady. I don't know who she is.
Hey, Scott.
So we're outside of Honea, Texas, heading towards Montgomery. This is all in Montgomery County, Texas. So there is a downtown Montgomery, the city, within Montgomery County. Yeah, I'm telling Mike Barreras that I had explained to more what we're doing, or what we're planning to be doing this weekend. I was fortunate to ride with Mo last Sunday, as well as on this ride. Well, we just saw each other. We didn't ride together too long. He pulled us for a while before the second stop. But I told Mike Barreras, yeah, Mo knows what we're doing. Mo was teasing Laura. He's like, he lifted the pace just enough, but he was right there, and Laura just ignored him. And once we got into the forest, Laura went with the A group, and that's okay. You know, just whatever you feel like is fine. I'm trying to get people to just understand that there are training principles that you could adhere to that would keep you in check, so to speak. So you don't have the group dictating what you do all the time. Yeah, Mike Barreras asked if I wanted to be on there. He says an armchair ride. Darren's a big boy, so when you follow him, you get a good draft. When I follow Mo, I get down really low. Which for me is easy because, you know, I'm pretty flexible and my position is nice and fluid. And it's easy to follow Mo closely because he's so smooth. I'm letting everybody know the roads are wet, so not to lean too much in that corner. That's what that was about. See my watts? Downshifted in the corner and revved up to stay on that wheel without getting out of the saddle. I'm letting Mike know. I said they're going faster, but they're right there. We can see them. They're not going fast enough to lose us. In a little while, we end up riding up to them anyway, you know, even though we're supposed to not do that. But, you know, Mike Beredas put it this way. He said, nobody wants to ride alone. So unless you forcefully stop everything from accelerating, as people keep coming around, everybody just kind of goes with the wheels because nobody wants to be left behind alone. And that's kind of, you can see that they're right there after trying to ride up to the moat. And we're just going to ride up to them. There are a lot of hidden bumps on this section of the road, so I make sure I point it out for those who have followed me because I know where they are. Where the pavement just kind of dips away. It's perfect and complete, but it has a dip. Yeah, I'm pointing at one of them now. So it rattles you. If you're not expecting it, it can cause problems. The sun finally decided to come out. I don't put my glasses on until after we leave Paco Corner, I believe. We're going to be turning left. It wasn't as wet on this corner, but I didn't do too much leaning. Slow down, and it's a lot quicker to be upright than to fall. Everybody's careful. You see the watts go up. Laura had done pulling. Laura had been pulling the whole way since we turned on Ribbon Chapel on the 2854. It's a long pull. Sometimes Laura pulls too much. One time, I think Paul had to tell her, "Why are you doing all this pulling? There's plenty of guys here to pull." On one ride we're on, she said, "I just want to do my fair share," something like that. But she does more than her fair share, in my opinion. But you know, hey, doesn't kill you. It's gonna make you stronger. Laura be flattening these hills out here. I finally had a decent training week, so this entire stretch, it did not feel very difficult. I wasn't under any pressure. I actually enjoyed keeping the tempo down. There's a lot of water from that side street. Pushes a lot of the debris, rocks, and sand onto this road. Beautiful road. That's why we love it. Mill route. Always quiet. People got their private homes on either side of it. Got a few driveways. Not much. It's a nice little stretch, and it's lumpy. Right here. We hit another lump here. Not sure why this slowed down. That's roaring. Feel the pace lifting. I stay in the same gear. I just turned it a little faster. It's a bit of a heavy gear. shot there. Loretta! There's Kenny back there. And I think I see who's on the right there. Is that person? Doesn't look familiar. Oh, that's Kelly. Okay, Kelly on the right behind Paul. Yeah, quite a few of us kept our glasses off because you couldn't see. They got all fogged up. Dan the Man, the cyclist going the other way. That's what Mike Bereras mentioned. Dan Conway is heading back to town. It's a good sized group this morning. We're going to be turning right in about probably 25 meters. After we turn, we come across, we pass two cyclists, or three cyclists, I believe. They're going to join our group. And one of them is Elena, Christian's wife. I hadn't seen her in years. She looked different to me. And she said, oh, I haven't seen her in a while. That's her on the right. A tall lady on that bike with the, looked like a coral helmet. That's Elena. Yeah, she's greeting me. And it took me a while to realize it was her. Her face was familiar, but she's so fit. She looked leaner than when I knew her a few years ago. So we're using part of the main lane as we go by. Elena is here, and I believe Doug Martin is one of the other riders that's up there. He's going to blend into the group. She's going to get in as well. We hadn't seen Christian in a bit, but he's out and about. I think I'm staying either on the line or slightly to the left of it, because there's a lot of little grit, and with the moisture we've had, I think that's where I'm staying. And I think because there are other riders, right here, this is a right lane. It's a turn lane for the neighborhood on the right. There's a new neighborhood on the right, so to put that lane there. Truck is using the turn lane to pass us, giving us plenty of room. We appreciate that always. So now the shoulder is drier, and I think we're all back on the shoulder here. They recently paved the upper part of FM 2854, the same piece that hits Honea-Egypt, where they're going to be paving down there. They finished this side. So for a couple of weeks or so, we didn't come through here because it was all torn up. Yeah, we're going around other riders, so we're going to use the road. You always want to give other cyclists some room. You don't want to startle them. Especially if you're by yourself and you're coming up on somebody. Give them plenty of room because they're in their own little world. If they don't know you're there, you can startle them. About the only thing they're concerned about are cars. They're not expecting some other cyclists to be right there. So you don't want to pass so close. That's Doug Martin on the right in the blue shirt. We chatted a little bit, and I think I'm going to slow down for him to come up. He's going to come up, and he's going to start complimenting us about the group. And he said, I hadn't seen you since you started the group, and this and that. And I told him, yeah, the group's growing, and explained to him what we've been trying to do. So we chatted about it. The bump is over. We're going to be rolling down. So it gets easier here. I like to come on this road, especially after the new pavement. They put that, the shoulder on the left, on the opposite lane now is wider than it used to be. It used to be a lot smaller. They gave us a wider lane, which I thought was pretty nice. And so coming back, that's how we kind of just coasting down this side. That's Elena, Paul's greeting, which is coasting. On the other side, you got to climb this whole stretch. It's a nice grade. It's about 3 to 5 minutes of climbing. It's nice. So you can get some good work.
That was Rich and his wife I was telling you about.
Oh, okay. I've seen her, man, but I've never met.
Yeah.
Is he out here?
Huh?
Is Christian riding? Or
No, he's not.
Yeah, Christian's been doing different things like cyclocross and different things. I don't know what he's doing today, but Elena's out getting her K's in.
He's here. Oh, there you are. Hey. How are you, man?
I remember Doug.
Yeah. How can I forget? Huh?
Yeah, Doug was asking for Paul.
So you missed the memo, man.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm teasing Paul. They missed the memo. We're all in dark. He's wearing purple. I got
Yeah, I'm
navy and
detached
black.
from reality. That's
So I'm going to tell Laura, you know how when you stop the tire can touch your shoe? And I tell her, I said, be careful because it dirties her shoe. The Pro Team shoe she has is fabric.
I saw the purple queen. That's my wife's favorite color. We got purple queen on the front of the house.
Yes, fairly. These things are the most comfortable, the pro ones.
She's talking about the Rapper Pro Team shoes. Yeah, her tire is touching her shoe. You know how when you stop and your front wheel flips, it can rub on the nose of your shoe. I hate that. It dirties your shoe.
Classic, but they fit like a glove. Like first time you put them on, they're like,
Yeah, the Pro Team shoes
Yeah, the
fit
tires
really
will
well.
dirty your shoe. So I don't let them touch mine. Yeah, I watch it, especially at the stop.
I really watch that,
It's hard to
especially
keep
when you
people-
turn it slow. At times it's hard to keep these guys under control. He's gonna tell me to smell taco. That's Roy on the right.
right.
These boys just
They
know
can
one
smell
speed.
taco.
They know one speed, warp speed. So they turn on the power. If you look at my watts, well, we're going uphill, so right now power's off. But they're going fast. We were doing about 22, 23. This is about 2.5% climb, and it goes for about maybe 2 kilometers, maybe about a mile and a half. It's a long climb. It's nice, you know, not vicious. Get a good workout on it. Lone Star Parkway. So that's Roy and another rider, I don't know his name, but they always do that. They'll go and then halfway up the climb they run out of steam. You know, so of course as they go by, the rabbit effect, everybody lifts the pace. I can feel it lifting. I just stay on Laura's wheel. I'm like, okay, let them do what they got to do, and just ride to Taco. This is the guy that reminds me of the form of Alberto Contador somewhat. The shape. He's on the left. Look at his forehead. The pace just lifted. I'm just staying on the wheel in front of me. We're doing 25 miles an hour off this thing. These guys are crazy. It's leveling off, but still is exposed to the wind hitting us. This is fast. It's faster than we're supposed to be doing in the winter preparatory period. Yeah. You can see we're going fast. Over 25 miles an hour. You know, 5317 spinning about 100 RPMs, pretty much. Yeah, I look behind, it's clear. I come over to block anyone else from coming by because there are construction barrels on the right at about 30 feet. You see them. So I stay here so the drivers can stay behind us. There's not too many back there. We're going to be turning. They're going to be building something, I guess, on the right. What they're doing. The growth is hitting this area, which is fine. It doesn't affect our riding that much because we left Houston, well, not Houston, the Woodlands, and we went through Honea, and now we're into Montgomery. So we're in another town. So if this town grows, the roads in between, yeah, you pick up a little bit of traffic, but overall, because there's not a whole lot on those roads, they stay about the same. It's the metro areas that get crowded. That's why we get out of town. So on the way out of town, you got to deal with some of it. This is a downhill. This is the guy on the right that was riding with Roy a second ago, going by the group. Roy's right there on the right. So everybody chased them down, I guess. Cyclist cannot see somebody else go by. So we're approaching Taco Corner. It's a store in a Shell station that make taco, probably enchiladas. I don't know what else they sell there, but it's got a hot kitchen in it. We primarily get drinks and stuff. They have good restrooms. It's a perfect location when you head this way. Even during the week, if I come out this way, I stop there. We're welcome here. They appreciate our presence and our business. Mike giving Laura a hard time but she did her hair. So
She always gets
I know you notice it all that stuff. I don't notice all that. This is right. That's Elena
Like I did before, you
on the
people,
left.
you got your bikes in there. I'm going to nest it right on top of yours.
Elena was lean.
You were busy complimenting Laura's hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul took his
You
spot.
guys just slipped right in there, didn't you? Little snake devils.
You sneak, you lose, my brother.
This is much later in the ride. We've gone through the Bethel section of the, I believe this is the Bethel section of the forest. Yeah, we're headed, I think, towards 149. We went on Bailey Grove and took 1097, and we're in the forest here. The group has already split. There is an A group up ahead. I don't know if the camera will pick them up. We can see them. but we're pretty much keeping our effort somewhat down. We ended up regrouping at the store, taco again, and then we rode back in together. I'm just gonna put the information out there. I'll ride based on how I feel. If I'm feeling good and they go, I'll just sit in. I'll just sit and go with the pace. Because right now I'm at sweet spot, so that's not bad. I'm not doing too many anaerobic efforts per se, so it's okay. So in the winter, you keep the same pattern, meaning your weekly pattern. If you usually do sprints on Tuesday, you do that. Wednesday, you do a little bit of AT stuff, but not too much. And then Thursday, you do long endurance rides. Friday, easy. I do the same thing pretty much, but less volume per se than when you're getting ready for something. It gives you more time to hang out with family and friends and do other stuff that you've neglected throughout the season. So you can't stop doing your sprints, especially by yourself, because those fast twitch fibers, they forget if you don't use them. But you got to know how much to do. So we're the second group. There's a group up in the road that we can see. That guy, I think he ends up between the two groups, or I don't know if he gets up to them. But there's a guy at the front. We're not really riding together. He acts like he's racing the rider who's behind him. There's quite a few riders don't know how group dynamics work. And they act like they're competing with you instead of riding with you. I stay on the right there to avoid braking because I'm descending a lot faster than the guy in front of me. So I try to drift more to the right, catch the wind, and I come back behind him. This is the Sam Houston National Forest. This road is actually called Bethel Road. It's beautiful. I mean, this is the way it is. You get a car now and then. And sometimes you get a few, but it's rare. It's like, this is the way it is. You come out here, this is the experience. You and the deer and cows. I mean, we don't see that much deer here. One time we even filmed cows that had gotten loose. There's people that own farm, ag property out here within the forest. There are communities within the forest. This is a hiking start on the left that we just passed. People park their cars and go hiking on trails. They have trails in them. So for me, during this time of year, I try to keep my watts, if you train by watts, 250-ish or less, thereabouts. So we've been riding all this time. We finally got a car going the other way, so we squeeze it, close it up a little bit so you can go by. This road is falling apart. They just paved it. They repaved it a few years ago. And because of all the moisture, it's cracking. That's what she's talking about. But I thought she was talking about the pace. She said she's talking about the roads. Oh, yeah, they've been patching it. I told her that they can ride whatever. And we're going to catch back up to these guys. I don't know what we're doing, whether we're chasing or whatever. And my thing is why chase? If you saw them go, if you wanted to ride with them, you should have gone when they came by. What's the point of letting them go and then waste the energy to chase them? So what she's telling me is that she was talking about the fact that the road's falling apart. And I told her, yeah, they've been patching it. It's all the moisture. When it rains, you see the road is still wet. The trees keep the road wet longer. And if they don't put enough rocks underneath when they lay the asphalt, the soil, erodes under the asphalt. You can watch my body language. I am not working hard at all. Just sitting there, just riding. I finally got to where I'm training more consistently now, you know, so my body responds very well when I keep the regiment up, so to speak. I told him, I said, let him go, keep it steady. The guy in the blue, I told him to keep it steady because Alejandro, I said, I don't think he knows what he's doing. He acts like he's racing. It's like, either you're going to work with us or ride up to the other group. You keep accelerating and then looking behind. Especially based on the announcement I made this morning, it's kind of clueless kind of riding. I don't understand what he's doing. Looking at it, just shake my head.
I have them, yeah. But do you go by those? I go by all of it.
Right there, Mike Barreras is going to move on me right there. He's not aware that I'm there. I think it's here. I don't know if it's on camera or not. I thought, you good, because I saw him coming. Because he apologized. I thought, I saw, you're good.
I've got a unit of measure on mine. It's called enjoyment.
So he's sitting up there, not helping the group here that he's riding with. So what's the point of that?
Enjoyment skill is inverse to watts.
I think it's right here. I think Mike's gonna move over. Right there.
Go on. San
He said,
Diego Mike's
yeah, he looked.
Friday ride.
And I thought, you're good.
That's enjoyment.
So now he's slowing down again. If you're gonna pull, get in front and
Love
pull,
scale.
and when you're done, get off. No one's impressed with this foolishness, because that doesn't make any sense. If you're gonna ride off the front and go. And now he's slowed down, now he's pointing. He ain't pulling nobody, so he could have been pulling that guy. It's just inefficient. That's what I'm pointing out. We're not working together, wasting energy. The whole point of a pace line is to have others in the draft while you work. They just sit out there. So we let them sit and fry themselves. So a lot of people ride bikes. A lot of people are not really students of the sport. They don't necessarily understand the nuances involved. So we're approaching, I believe, 149. This is where Bethel Road ends and becomes, I think, 1751 if you go straight across. That will take you to Huntsville and beyond. Traversing other roads. But that's the secondary way to get to Huntsville from this side of town. Using non-major roads. He's asking if we're turning right. I did not answer. I take the time to put a map out there. You don't look at it. Don't ask me any questions on the route. Just watch what we do and follow.
They fixed it.
This is 149. We're going to turn here and head back into town. I don't know what you did, but this is part of what we did on Saturday. Remember, get your K's in and keep all the doctors fired.
Yeah,